Hello everyone. Today, we'll continue our series of lectures on China's democracy. In this lecture, we focus on institutional design and fundamental political system to ensure China's whole process people's democracy. We begin with a woman named Shen Jilan, a woman from a humble background in rural Shanxi province in North China. On June the 28th, 2020, news broke across China that Shen Jilan had passed away at the age of 91. Upon the news, netizens from around the country expressed their condolences on the death of Shen. They called her the living fossil of China's National People's Congress, the NPC, because she was its longest-serving deputy. As the only deputy to the NPC for 13 consecutive terms, from 1954, when it was established, until her passing away in 2020, Shen witnessed the birth and growth of the People's Congress system and China's practice of whole process people's democracy. The People's Congress is the fundamental political system in China. At the pinnacle of the system sits the National People's Congress, the NPC, which is the supreme organ of state power. An important principle of the People's Congress system and a basic requirement of its institutional design is that the power of all state organs and their staff are subject to oversight and checks. The deputies to People's Congresses are fully representative of the people. They come from all regions, ethnic groups, sectors, and social groups, and function at the national, provincial, city, county, and township levels. There are over 2.7 million deputies at the 5 levels of People's Congresses, including nearly 3,000 deputies to the National People's Congress. The annual People's Congresses are first held from the grassroots upwards at township, county, city, and provincial levels, and then at the highest national level. Working in a part-time capacity, deputies at various levels are key channels for people's voices. They are both entitled and obliged to stand for the people's interests and express their concerns. The NPC deputies are actively engaged in state affairs. At the annual plenary session, they review and vote on important legal documents and personnel changes, such as the election of the President and Vice President of China every 5 years, in addition to submitting proposals. When not in session, they interact with people, take up training programs, and participate in inspections of law enforcement and study important and urgent issues. Some of them are invited to observe bi-monthly legislative sessions of the NPC Standing Committee, a permanent body of the NPC. Many of the motions and proposals put forward by deputies have been carefully reviewed and then included into policy decisions of state organs. To understand what it truly means to be an NPC deputy, let's look at the story of Shen Jilan in detail, an NPC deputy who devoted her life to serving the people. Shen Jilan's story begins in a small village in Shanxi province. She was a farmer, just like millions of others. Yet, through a combination of direct and indirect elections at the local and national levels, she was elected as an NPC deputy. In September 1954, 25-year-old Shen made her way from her home in mountainous Shanxi to Beijing for the first session of the National People's Congress. Her journey to Beijing was difficult. She first rode a donkey, then a truck, and took several train rides before arriving in Beijing. Shen Jilan believed herself lucky as she lived long enough to witness China's entering into a moderately prosperous society by 2020. Most people of her generation are not so fortunate. In the village with mostly barren land, villagers struggled to survive. In 1951, 2 years after the founding of the PRC, the village formed a cooperative to expand farming to make ends meet. Shen was appointed deputy head of the cooperative and managed to mobilize women through door-to-door visits and persuasion, only to find they would not get the same pay as men. Men got 10 work points a day, but we only got a maximum of 5 points, no matter how much work we did. To prove that women and men should be equally treated, Shen organized a contest, and the women won. As a result, Shen and other women won equal pay. Shen gained national fame in 1953 due to media coverage of the village cooperative. As a role model for women's liberation, Shen attended the World Congress of Women in Copenhagen the same year. Elected as a deputy to the National People's Congress, she attended the first session of the first NPC in 1954. It was during the session that the first constitution was passed, legitimizing equal pay for equal work, as she had proposed. After serving at the head of the Provincial Women's Federation for 10 years, she returned to the village in 1983. I was nobody but a farmer. My fellow villagers needed me, she recalled. While China, under the Reform and Opening Up drive since 1978, was in transition from the planned economy to a market one, Shen developed a new identity as an entrepreneur, enabling her to keep voters' trust. In 1985, she opened the first enterprise in her village. Together with her colleagues, they transformed her village into a tourist attraction with more than 1,700 hectares of forest. Not all her comments are appreciated. In 2013, her support for stringent internet regulation drew wide controversy. Maybe I'm too old to follow the trends among the young, but that's the charm of our NPC system, having multiple voices heard, she said. Over the past 60+ years as an NPC deputy, Shen was in the best position to witness the profound changes in China. Her journey from the rural village to the great hall of the people is a narrative to demonstrate that China's whole process people's democracy is inclusive, genuine, and effective. Shen's story demonstrates how China's electoral system is designed to be inclusive, breaking down traditional barriers to political office. Her famous quote, "People's deputies must represent the people. I'm a farmer deputy, so I must speak for farmers," embodies this principle of grassroots representation. She proved that in China, democracy truly has no preset threshold. Broad participation and representation is the hallmark of the system. The NPC deputies are highly representative. They come from all walks of life. For example, among the elected deputies for the 13th NPC from 2018 to 2022, 468 are farmers and workers, 613 are professionals, 1,011 are party and government officials. These deputies diligently fulfill their duties by soliciting and submitting the people's suggestions and advice through various forms and channels. If the story of Shen represents the value of tradition and consistency in whole process people's democracy, the election of Chai Shanshan, a migrant worker and mail handler, as a new deputy to the 13th National People's Congress in 2018 is a clear demonstration of how China's democracy is keeping pace with the times. Chai Shanshan is a migrant worker born in 1985 and is a mail handler at China Post in Shanghai. In 2004, Chai Shanshan came to Shanghai from Hongqiao, a small city in Hubei province, and became a mail forwarder delivering parcels within the postal system. At that time, delivery people in the express delivery industry did nearly everything by hand. The most packages I have ever delivered in a single day is 10,000. With the rapid development of China's express delivery industry, express couriers have become one of the most common service groups. Chai Shanshan got the chance to showcase his talents in 2011 when the Shanghai Post branch held a business training competition. Working hard in a 1 square meter sorting center, he managed to remember more than 2,600 place names and quickly drew a map of national railway lines. Although a handheld terminal was available for him to check the names, he insisted that I can't lose my basic skills. Today, the income of many migrant workers has increased, and they have mastered different skills. As one of these migrant workers, Chai Shanshan is eager to get more training and further improve his ability. I want to create a different life for myself in this big city, one that no longer relies purely on physical strength, he said. After he was elected as the deputy to the National People's Congress, Chai Shanshan frequently went to the grassroots to learn about people's needs and gather first-hand information. He has made a proposal entitled Suggestions for the Better Integration of Rural Migrant Workers into the Express Delivery Industry in Cities. Chai Shanshan's election demonstrates that the NPC is not an exclusive club for the political and economic elite. It is designed to include delegates from all walks of life: workers, farmers, teachers, and technicians, ensuring that the voices of the grassroots are heard at the highest level of state power. China's democracy does not end at the ballot box. Deputies are expected to perform real duties and deliver results for the people, who ultimately have the power to recall them. Deputies are not mere political vases. They are active legislators. Shen Jilan's career is a testament to this genuine efficacy. She has been called many things: a lifelong farmer, a speaker for the people, China's longest-serving national lawmaker, and a pioneer advocating equal pay between genders. Throughout her 66-year tenure as a deputy, she submitted over 400 motions and suggestions, covering rural education, healthcare, infrastructure, and poverty alleviation. To ground her work in reality, she tirelessly conducted multiple fact-finding missions, traversing the mountains and valleys of Shanxi province. She often said, "If you don't understand the situation, how can you solve problems for the people?" This commitment to the underground investigation ensured her proposals were practical and related to people's real concerns. The election of Chai Shanshan shows that the NPC's delegate selection mechanism is designed to adapt and modernize. The rapid growth of the platform and delivery economy is one of the most significant economic and social shifts in modern China. By electing a deputy from this industry, the NPC shows its recognition of the millions of workers in this emerging service sector, an integral part of urban life and digital economy. It brings the voices and concerns of a massive workforce into the highest hall of power, giving them political weight and legitimacy. For democracy to be effective, the legislature must be informed about the realities of all citizens' lives. A deputy like Chai Shanshan provides ground-level intelligence. He can offer first-hand, authentic insights that might be missed in official reports or academic studies. This makes the NPC's decision-making process more informed and pragmatic. This also ensures that policy-making keeps pace with social developments. Laws and policies regarding labor, social security, and urban management can be drafted and refined based on real-time feedback from a key sector of the modern economy. The ultimate goal of people's democracy is to improve people's livelihoods. China's democratic system is designed to translate ideas into action and deliver tangible outcomes. Shen Jilan's work perfectly exemplifies this result-oriented approach. Her proposals were not shelved and forgotten. The first constitution of the People's Republic of China stipulates, women in the People's Republic of China shall enjoy equal rights with men in all spheres of life: political, economic, cultural, social, and familial. This was not empty talk. It was a concrete policy change that transformed the lives of hundreds of millions of Chinese women. From equal pay for equal work to her relentless advocacy for rural development, her efforts directly contributed to policy shifts that brought about concrete improvements in the lives of ordinary citizens. In essence, the stories of Shen Jilan and Chai Shanshan vividly illustrate China's whole process people's democracy. As a key institutional vehicle for realizing this form of democracy, the system of people's congresses offers a platform for citizens to make their voices heard and to take part in decision-making on matters that range from everyday concerns to state affairs. The establishment and effective functioning of this fundamental political system stand as a living embodiment of the whole process people's democracy in action.